everyone. Welcome back, boys and girls, uncles and aunties. Welcome back to the Two Uncles Football Show. And it's been ages, man. I think from since our last word feels like ages, and a lot of things have changed, and a lot of interesting developments have happened in the last couple of weeks. So let's
Yeah.
dive right into it.
Yep. hmm
And then there were two.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Like the last time I think we talked, it was a three-horse race. Now it's just a two-horse race
Yep.
for the title. And but couldn't ask for anything more, right? It's this whole race is going to go. I think definitely till into the last day, down to the wire. So although I'm hoping we'll review the matches, but I'm hoping that. United will take some points off Arsenal and make it a foregone conclusion. But yeah, it's been very interesting. I think overall, title race is still kind of going. European places, I think the surprising thing is not that, I think Villa has kind of solidified their
Mhm.
position for UEFA Champions League. And then Spurs are going to maybe like crawl over the line into fifth place. But below that, I think the resurgence of Newcastle and Chelsea back in like with a fighting chance for Europe has been quite interesting.
Or should we
Uh,
say downfall of United, not
or the
resurgence?
downfall of I was trying to put a positive spin on it, but you know, arms crossed.
Let's talk about that, man. What is Europa Conference League? Well, we'll get
Exactly.
to that. Yeah.
Exactly. And then like relegation also, I think Burnley has one last chance against Spurs, no less, this weekend. And Luton is still kind of in there, but I think Forest is. I feel like Forest is going to go over the threshold and cross the finish line, stay in the Premier League. But let's
Yeah.
start with the title race.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah, the title.
do a
So
quick
I think
preview. What have you learned in the last 2 weeks?
I think it, it won't be decided, of course. This it's a huge game for Arsenal, no doubt, on Sunday. And you might find this, I mean, wishful thinking or whatever for me as a United fans and City kind of stumbling. Watch out. It's Craven Cottage, Fulham. Do not just, I mean, it's just English Premier League. I mean, just a slip, right? Yes. Okay, fine, man. Wishful thinking.
Clutching.
Whatever.
Can I see your hands? Because I think they're clutching at straws.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, dude.
Uh,
City is not going to lose to Fulham.
I'm not
Uh,
saying lose. No, 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 no. Look, it's a draw. It's a draw, right? 2 points dropped, right? So what happens after that? Then I mean, they would be on. No, they won't be on equal points, right? And Arsenal. Look, let's look at it this way: Fulham City, right? Okay, let's put it this way: Fulham City.
uh-huh.
Okay, City will
Tell me
most
more.
likely win,
Tell me
right?
more. Yeah.
Right? Arsenal, United, Arsenal, Old Trafford. I do not see United winning at all.
hmm
I mean,
I
based
don't see them winning either. I'm just hoping for a draw.
good one. Yeah, but it's a draw. Then it's. I think it's the end of. I mean, it's done. I don't think
Oh,
City
but then
will.
Fulham will also draw with Manchester City, right? So then the thing will go.
Yeah, it's going down to the wire, dude. The
Either way,
last
it's going down to
weekend.
the wire. So,
Exactly. But
no, but I think in
hey,
seriousness,
okay, okay. Let's just look at this way. Okay, City still has to play Spurs.
mhm,
All right.
we're definitely not winning that game.
Come on, come on.
I don't think so, man. I
Do
think
something, dude. Come on. It cannot be
like
said
let's be
again.
realistic. Okay, all this is like let's be we lived in fantasy land for the last like 3-4 minutes, but
Okay.
let's
Yeah, let's.
really think about what's going to happen.
Okay.
And I think we can probably both agree on this that most likely Arsenal is going to win this weekend, and most likely City is going to win this weekend.
Yes.
So that kind of takes it
To the next one. Yeah.
to the next one.
Yeah.
City plays Spurs,
Yeah.
and honestly, I think a draw will be a best case result for Spurs, the way that they are playing.
Yeah.
And before that we obviously have Burnley, which is going to be an interesting game. Burnley is also fighting for their lives,
Yeah.
and I can still see, regardless of the struggles that Spurs are having, them beating Burnley, right? But with that, if they take that same struggle into midweek against City, City is ruthless. City is going to punish us, right? Against Burnley, I think it's going to be a pretty
It's
open game, probably at both ends. But City is not going to be that open.
it's at Sports Stadium.
I know.
I mean, if you believe in stats, then let's believe, man. I hope, man. I just hope that it's a draw. I mean, I don't think Spurs will win,
Hmm.
but it is. Okay. Let me ask you this: what is the probability of Spurs drawing against City
Hmm.
versus the probability of Arsenal drawing against United?
The reason I think Arsenal drawing against United has a higher probability
Oh, wow. Okay.
is because I think United throughout this season have proved that when you like kind of, count them out, so to speak, right? They
But
always somehow play shit but get a result. They somehow manage to get that result.
thanks, man.
There's been so many that's actually a compliment, but
Yeah,
there's
thanks.
there's been so many examples of that, right? Like nothing, bigger than that Liverpool game, right, in the FA Cup. They played, come on, they
But
played pretty random. It was not a methodical sort of, I mean, I guess no 4-3 win is a methodical win, but so that's why I think that, if nothing else, like Bruno coming back into the side, being at home, and United also need to respond, dude. I think if like it's you also still have the FA Cup, so you still have, it's not like, oh, we're on the beach, right? Anyway, there's nothing to play for. No, you still have to maintain that
but but
kind of
but but for this game, there is nothing to play for. In fact, let's go back to if you win, you will
there's
be in
the
the
Conference
Conference
League,
League.
there is the Europa Conference League to
Exactly.
play for.
Dude, I rather not focus on get into any of that nonsense, but just focus on the League Cup and FA Cup and the
Mhm.
Premier League next Premier League, yeah, whatever. But whatever. You know what I mean.
We're winning the title next
Yeah,
year.
exactly. Come
Focus
on.
on the title next year.
That is coming, man.
Yeah.
So
No,
it
it's really
okay.
interesting. I think,
So,
but I think yeah, this time next week we will be saying, oh man, what a last like final day it's going to be. And I feel like there is
yeah.
some other twist that we haven't like, there is still one more, I think, major twist coming. I don't know what it is, but
So so
so,
Arsenal has United, and which are the next games? Other
and
games?
then I think Everton, they finish it with Everton, right?
Good question. We should have checked that actually before
Yeah,
our
I think they
podcast.
finish at Everton.
They finish at Everton. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Fine. All right. But City has Spurs, and I don't know which are the other two. Yeah, we should have actually checked. Uh, yeah, but in general, I think it's I don't think you can just look at the fixtures and just say that, you know what is decided that in general, I think City had an easier run in
Mhm,
relative to Arsenal and Liverpool.
mhm.
Um, and that's what's going to happen. But it's still English Premier League, I think. So
It's Fulham. It's Fulham on a
are
Saturday
you serious?
lunchtime
I know. I'm waking up at
in
4:30.
beautiful West London. So anything is possible there.
Yeah, I'm getting up at 4:30 to see that game.
So am I, dude.
And I'll jinx it, I'm sure.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
we have been jinxing everyone.
So
So,
that's good.
so
So the only prediction I think we're making is that it's going to go into the final weekend. Is
yes.
that okay?
Yeah.
I
Final,
think
or should we say, I don't know, maybe the weekend before the final, I think.
I think either we like if they match each other's
Results, then yeah.
results, then it's definitely like it's most likely going to the final weekend, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Um,
Then speaking of, I mean, so yeah, it's going to be fun, whatever
mhm.
happens. European places, right? So I think Villa is done. I mean, they are definitely getting in the Champions League, which is like,
Although they are playing Liverpool this week.
but your difference, how you are like what?
So if Spurs win all three matches,
End up,
and Villa just pick up 1 point from the next two, then Spurs are in. And one of those next two games is against Liverpool. So
oh, okay.
it's still mathematically. So you're saying there's a chance.
There is a chance. Yeah, okay, okay, interesting. Uh,
So I think that is still kind of like that door is barely open.
so
Uh,
title race, that'll, there is some twist that could happen, and European place still. Let's not talk about Europa.
I
I mean,
mean, I'm just kind of kidding. I'm kind of half joking. I think Villa is definitely, um, you know, going to get there.
is it at
And
Anfield?
just actually, although I might have to take it back again because Villa's next two games are against Liverpool and Crystal Palace.
Oh,
Ooh,
ooh,
twist. There's a twist there.
ooh, that's it.
Ooh, so
So
that's going to be interesting.
they play at Villa Park against Liverpool.
They play at, yes, it is at Villa Park. So that
Okay,
is
folks, uncles are not
mitigating
ready for this.
circumstance.
Uncles are not ready for this podcast. We didn't
Ooh.
prepare, but
Hey, it's been a
it's
long
at
week.
Villa
It's
Park.
been a long season.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. We are all injured. So,
yes,
uh,
I'm playing like, my energy level is the same as Spurs in that game last week. So, but yeah, actually,
so
so interesting. So,
it's
twist in the tail.
yep,
So, in
yep.
an ideal world, right? Arsenal draw against United, City beat Fulham,
Ideal world or Nav's world?
Nav's ideal world. City beat Fulham, Liverpool beat Villa, and then so in the midweek, we don't have a guilty conscience about beating City. So that's 6 points in the next two games for Spurs. And then like City is still like sort of ahead or in the driver's seat for the title. And then we all go into a fascinating showdown on the final day, right? Title still open, top four
On,
still open.
yeah,
Relegation probably, well, relegation could still be open
could
between
still be
Luton and
open.
Nottingham. Wow, that would be a
So
fantastic
finally,
final day.
yeah, finally we after what 4 seasons or 3 seasons, right? We got
Mhm.
something which is getting to the down to
Getting to the final day. Man, that would be incredible.
that'll be
So there
fun.
is a chance that will
That'll
happen.
be fun. Yeah.
So fantastic. All you guys have to do, dude, just keep your side of the parlay. Just draw with Arsenal.
Well, with who else is going to be getting injured between now and Sunday, I don't know.
Just
But
park the golf carts in front of goal. Don't
yeah,
park the
actually,
bus.
that's the best way. Yeah, I think they just line up because that's the only way. I do not see anything. You saw what happened against Crystal Palace,
Right.
and I cannot even begin to imagine what will happen against Arsenal with that kind. I know, leave aside Old Trafford and home advantage and all that. That is out of the window. Um, but yeah, it's going to be tough. But anyways, moving on. So I think if you look at UCL places, it's definitely between Villa and Spurs. Then comes the question about Europa,
Mhm.
right? And that could be. I think the worst case. I do not think that if.
What happens if you win the FA Cup? Do you get into Europa or is
if
that the Conference League?
no, no, Europa is fine, dude. Europa is
Okay.
something.
No, no. Does the FA Cup winner goes into Europa,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
There you go. That's your
but
route, man.
what if is a big question. But what if then I think Ten Hag stays? We'll
Mm.
talk about that a bit later
Yeah,
on.
yeah. But I
But
think for that, for those positions, yeah, I think United, dude, I don't know what to say. It's not been pretty, that's for sure. That defeat against Crystal Palace was just like stunning how well orchestrated Palace was and how discombobulated United was. It's just like Palace literally picked you apart in that game, I think.
So you would not, again, this is no excuse. When you have a five-time Champions League winner, you have, okay, Bruno was out, but you had some major names on the field, right?
Hmm.
Um, but you would not say that, I mean, the entire back line was gone, right? I mean, okay, Van Bissaka, center backs, sorry, all center backs are injured.
Hmm.
In Casemiro playing in there, and who did he partner with? Evans,
Johnny Evans.
right? Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Johnny Evans should not be. Yeah, it was a disaster. Uh, I would still say that if they had lost that game, when I saw the lineup and Bruno not there, it was very clear that they're definitely losing it. I didn't expect it to be 4-0. I
Hmm.
mean, come on, you have to have some sense of how to manage the game, right? You have to manage it. I mean, even if you are 2-0 down, and the way they were doing it, what they were doing in second half, it was just clear. It just
Hmm.
seems to me that they have given up, and
Hmm.
that's exactly what's going to happen. And this could be a big statement that I'm making right now. Arsenal, Newcastle, Brighton, next three games, right, for United. I don't see them winning any of them.
Hmm.
I don't.
Wow.
It just doesn't. I don't see it.
Wow.
Based on what I saw at Crystal Palace, there's no chance. And is anybody coming back? Okay, I just saw something where Martinez could be back from injury.
That would be big. But I mean,
That
is
would
he
be
match
something.
fit, right? He's been out for so long.
Exactly. He's not going to be straight in the starting 11, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
So then where does that leave? So Ten Hag is out, I guess. If you lose the next three games and you lose the FA Cup.
It will
Uh,
be the worst ever finish by United.
well, it's fascinating, like you said, right? After the best record after Fergie to
Yeah,
now like the worst.
exactly.
It's amazing how
Exactly.
much it has changed.
And it's also interesting if I was kind of looking back the entire season, the first one third was bad, right?
Hmm.
And then there was a good spell. I think the new year started well all the way up to Feb, where the only loss was City.
Hmm.
Fine. Then came there was some wobble there. Then came this again, kind of an inspirational performance against Liverpool in the FA Cup, and then a complete, you're going, it's all downhill.
Hmm.
So that's, and don't even talk about Champions League group stage, finishing last.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so to your point, yeah, I mean, you will find it surprising, and you will probably say I'm just gone crazy or something. But I still stay with Ten Hag for one more season, with the backing that he needs from a proper football structure. And most of the United fans will not agree with me, um, but I do not see
And
anybody
this is on the back of his like what he did last season.
on the back of what he did last season and giving, call it excuses or whatever it is, and whatever has happened this season.
Sure, but that's kind of interrelated,
Sancho.
right? It's like,
Yeah,
hey, he had a great
yeah.
first
You, you
season.
you had problems with Sancho. He had problems, or Sancho had problems, whatever that, leave that aside. Off field, Anthony's problems, right? And absolutely horrendous injury season for everyone. Which actually, there's one thing which I really want to understand, and again, this could be a long conversation, but how the hell can these guys be injured so frequently and for so long? I really want to talk to the doctors, the team out there. Like,
Stop hitting the tequila, man.
I have no idea. How could it be, man? So, and I'm kind of making my own conspiracy theory or whatever, but if you remember, the first season, Ten Hag made them run after the loss to Liverpool, or no, lost to Liverpool or Brighton, or was it Liverpool? Whatever. He made them run like the amount of I think the distance that Liverpool covered more than what United did. And maybe this guy is just brutal and it's not getting the results and he's not able to, yeah, well, that may warrant, he should be out,
You
but
know, the that may
possibly
be
injured.
so that you give him another season, but boy, that's a gamble.
It's a gamble with anybody.
True, but
Who are you going to get? Zidane is not.
Zidane.
Don Carlo, let's get him, man, after he's done with
No, but I mean, wow, that would be a massive. I would love to see that happen.
Don
I would
Carlo.
love to see it from a kind of principles, back your coach, back this guy
Yep,
if you believe
yep.
him point of view. I would love to see it from a, spectacle point of view. And I would love to see the other fans' reactions,
Ten Hag, right?
the other teams' reactions to Ten Hag staying,
Yeah, okay, okay.
from that point of view as well. So, man, that would be massive. If you still think he's going to stay, kudos.
I still remember how his Ajax team played, and I've seen them. There is something there,
Who
sure.
also lost to Spurs, by the way, to that Lucas Moura hat trick
Yeah, yeah, of
in the
course.
last kick of the game, 2019. That was against Ten Hag. Guess who was in goal?
Wait, oh, of course.
Andre Onana.
Onana, of course,
That was
yeah.
a great Ajax team, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Onana,
yeah,
Matthijs de Ligt,
yeah.
Frankie de Jong, Hakim Ziyech, Dusan Tadic. Man, that was a great
Think
team.
about it, right? I don't know what happened with Donny van de Beek.
Donny van de
He
Beek was
was
in that team. Oh yeah.
amazing there.
Where is he now? Where's
Yeah,
Donny?
yeah, he's coming back. They're saying. I mean, he was on loan, so and so okay. See, we probably can spend another hour on this one. But speaking of managerial sackings or changes, actually, who else do you think? I think Poch will stay based on whatever has happened.
Yeah,
Um,
I think this recent upturn is definitely, I think, going to keep him in a job. Um, so yeah, it'll be interesting. And to his credit, actually, speaking of the other teams, to his credit, they've had like a significant revival in the last 2 or 3 games, right? Since they drew with Villa, they beat Spurs, they smashed West Ham.
yeah,
They do have some interesting games coming up too, though. Chelsea, they are playing. Um, I think Forest this weekend, so that's going to be a big game. And I think beyond that, they also play. Uh, Brighton, that's for sure. And Brighton is also kind of enjoying like a little mini revival.
yeah.
And then the
Midweek
third
they're playing.
fixture they have is Bournemouth,
Yep,
who's also not like a pushover. So
exactly.
actually good in a way. This is a good test for Poch and Co to see if the revival is really a revival and it's like kind of whatever, right? Things are finally starting to fall into place or click towards the end of the season. Yeah, if it's a flash in the pan what they've done in the last 2 3 games, or if this is actually a revival, so that'll be kind of interesting as well. Newcastle are also playing well, man. Alexander Isaac is
Yeah.
looking like
So
one of the, well, he was here last season, but he was injured a lot of last season, but this season he's just exploded. I think
I think
he's already got like close to 20 or more than 20 goals.
if they get into I think Europa would be tough, but they get into Conference League. I think Eddie Howe will keep his job.
Actually, they have a good man. Every team I'm seeing is like
Yeah,
has an interesting run. Newcastle has Brighton, Man United, and Brentford.
yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be kind of an interesting run as well. So yeah, it's a lot of I think
But
position changes coming in the next
but
couple of game weeks.
just quickly on Eddie Howe, I think if they lose on those places, on European places, I think Eddie Howe will go. Um,
But he's also similar, right? He's kind of had the same sort of injury circumstances that United has had. Like if you compare Ten Hag, both of them had great like last season was great for both of them. They've also had like mitigating circumstances in terms of injuries and all that stuff. Injuries, and then Sandro Tonali got banned, all that stuff. So why would you fire Eddie Howe, but not Ten Hag?
Well, they are firing Ten Hag. I don't want to fire him.
Hmm.
If it was me, if it were anyways, but the question also becomes is like who else, right? Who else could be? I mean, not just United or Newcastle or Chelsea, but I think there's going to be some really world-class managers waiting to get into Premier
Mhm.
League.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
already, I think
yeah.
every team, right?
So
Like, I mean, you've got sort of the the people who are kind of up and coming, made their name in other leagues, and now are like showing their what they can do in the Premier League. Like Glasner is here. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
um, the Bournemouth coach, right? Well, Iraola is. He's also doing fantastic.
And
De Zerbi obviously has had a downturn, but like he's an exciting coach all over. I think every team
I think
has an exciting coach, except West
so.
Ham.
Yeah, Lopetegui is so
But their non-exciting coach also got them success in Europe last season. So
exactly.
there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm wondering why this guy oh, I had the name on top of my head right now and just lost it. Anyways, but I think West Ham and who else is gonna be? Oh yeah, Potter. Of
Hmm.
course, he's been linked with United,
Hmm.
but I think I mean I don't want to see him at United, but I think he will get back. Um, I was also thinking like if Eddie Howe is gone, maybe Potter could be in line for that job. Or maybe
You're trying to make sure Potter gets hired somewhere except United.
I mean, okay,
You're
that
very
guy in
optimistic of
Southgate.
you.
That guy in
Such a
Southgate.
selfless person.
Hey, he needs a job, man. Go. So, good job, man.
Go take it. Sign the damn paper.
Exactly. Newcastle is a nice place, man, up north. So,
Who would
uh,
you want to have
two.
at United?
If they really want to change, then let's just go for Zidane.
I heard you're bringing Pele back also, dude, for next season.
Okay, yeah, see the other one. If Don Carlo can go to Everton, he can certainly come to you.
Oh my
Come on,
goodness.
man.
Oh my goodness.
A guy who has
I would
won
love to see that. I
all
would love to see that, dude.
all the five leagues in Europe. He has won every league there, four UCLs, right?
Whew.
I
The
mean,
most successful, the most decorated coach, I guess.
he
Right?
is
If you look at the variety of
sure,
leagues and things.
sure. And so, anyways, but I mean, other than that, what Southgate, Potter,
Hmm.
actually, you know what? Deserby could be good. Even last season, if you remember, you and
Yeah.
I were chatting about this. I really like. I don't know what has happened at Brighton now, but I think he's somebody I would like to see. But again, it's going to be the same story. Okay, see, we're getting into all this again. Let's let's just move
Fair
on.
enough. Let's move on.
Oh,
Let's move on.
and
Let's talk a little bit of relegation now. So
um,
obviously Sheffield United is done.
yeah,
Burnley is in the last chance saloon this week against Spurs.
I think
Luton and Nottingham Forest have like a three
yeah,
point differential.
yeah.
And who does? Let's see.
I think Burnley is. I mean, okay, they got a result against United, which is like not a
Mhm.
surprise, but
Hey. Mhm. So Luton plays West Ham. So Hammers are kind of on the beach. Luton still
oh,
playing for something, fighting for their lives. If the and Chelsea's in form, so if they beat Nottingham Forest, dude, we could have like a final day
relegation.
relegation battle as well. Aside from you got the title race, top four. If all the results fall into place, title race, top four, European places, and relegation. That would be something going into the final day.
Yep,
Wow, that would be some season.
I'm locking myself in the room.
Hmm.
That's for sure, man. That's going to be a
For
fantastic.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm just glad Mother's Day is
Uh,
this weekend and not next weekend.
but very quickly for our audience, Leicester. and
Hmm.
switch next year.
Yeah, Kieran McKenna. Let's see what he can do in the Premier League. And
Now,
then the play. I think I actually quite enjoy the playoffs as well. So I think it's who are in the playoffs. We got to see this.
Huddersfield?
No, it's actually Leeds,
Oh,
Norwich,
Leeds is there. Sorry, not
West Brom, and I forget who the last team is. And we can check. But yeah, Leicester. I think they've had an incredible season
yeah.
in terms of you know what they've been able to do, and they're like, I mean, it's amazing how well even Burnley was similar last year. It's like it's amazing
Sure.
how ultra consistent. Like if you're a good team, like in the championship, I think that's the way to get promoted, obviously. But super consistent, over such a long like season, right? They actually have, I think, 44 games, right, or something like that. So yeah, or 42 games. I think they have 22 teams in the championship. So man, it's incredible to stay, maintain
That's
that
a long run.
focus for
Yeah.
that long, right? What do you think?
And and also I believe the playoffs they have home away, or is it just one?
No, the semifinals are actually
Semifinal,
two legs,
two
and
legs, right?
then
Oh,
you
yeah.
have
It's
the final, right, at Wembley. So yeah, it's actually West Brom against Southampton and Leeds against Norwich. So
man,
those are the two, semifinal ties. So awesome. That's going to be super fun, also.
it's the most lucrative game in
Yeah,
women's
the final,
football.
right? Because the
Yep,
promotion.
yep.
So that's kind of fun. And speaking of lucrative, we have to switch to the Champions League now because what a like both ties have been like super fun, right?
Yeah.
And I thought about the Champions League, but when you said lucrative, so I saw this like tweet today that said, if Dortmund win the UCL, they get 20 million euros from UEFA, but if Real Madrid win the UCL, they actually get 25 million from Real Madrid because that was part of the Jude
The deal.
Bellingham
Yeah.
deal. So that's also fascinating. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the semis. Man, amazing.
Very quickly, if
Yeah.
Dortmund wins, what
Mhm.
do United get for Sancho?
Wow. Hopefully they get rid of him for good.
Well,
I don't know.
okay,
That's
but
gonna be interesting. But yeah, what
but
games, man? Like both
amazing.
the
Yeah,
semifinals
yeah.
were fantastic. Like PSG hit the woodwork four times. Dortmund like just kind of hung on and uh like tot- nobody nobody thought they would reach this far this year. I think they flew completely under the radar.
Mhm.
Um and yeah, I mean, yeah, kudos. It's Don Carlo and Real Madrid in the final now, so I don't know
Yeah,
like what they can do, but hey, man, what a story, right?
it's not to write it off, right? Not we
Yeah,
cannot
yeah.
write them off. I mean, it's final, it's Wembley, and I think it's interesting with the way how Madrid have gone through. I mean, even against City, right?
Mhm,
And even the last game against or the first leg
mhm.
against Bayern, right? So I think there is a Dortmund clearly has a chance, but yeah, it is Don Carlo, no doubt. The game against Bayern Munich was
Oh,
amazing.
incredible.
Let's talk very quickly on this. Your take on the offside call, where Bayern's goal was
So
just
I think Bayern's equalizer,
yeah,
that was just a silly mistake by the ref.
it's a huge
So
mistake.
there were two. So I think that was a silly mistake by two people.
Linesman.
Number one is a linesman. Sure, he kind of raised the flag, whatever, right? But even then, the ref should actually kind of. I feel like, I mean, it's the silly call or it's a brave call, right? To blow the whistle at that point, because I think 9 out of 10 refs would be like, hey, VAR is going to have a look at it anyways. So, let the play just go on. But I also think that had VAR looked at it, I feel like Delict was offside.
Oh, really?
I do think he would be called offside because I mean the defender did have like a hand dangling behind.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think Delict, like I felt like his feet and body were like offside. If you I don't know how the dangling hand counts in that situation.
Yeah, yeah,
But I feel like he would be given offside. But nevertheless,
yeah. It was a
Let VAR make that call.
yeah,
It was a silly mistake. I
silly
think that was
mistake.
just um,
And
robbed, kind of robbed Bayern. But at the same time, Bayern brought this on themselves.
yeah. So by no means I'm saying that, Bayern were robbed. I mean, exactly to your point, it was a silly mistake, but I think it was a huge mistake in sense of, you're looking at semifinals, Champions League, and if there is a rule where the linesman does not blow the or raise the flag till
Mhm.
kind of the game is, or the play is ended,
Mhm.
I don't know what happened at that point, right?
Yeah,
And then
it was
secondly,
just
whether it was given or not given, I don't think I think Real Madrid were anyways.
probably deserved it at that point.
I mean, they were
That's
relentless.
true. But again, I think football, like you don't always get what you deserve,
Yeah,
which is also kind of the fun of it or the drama of it.
yeah,
But that was a poor call. The other offside with Hosselu, obviously, that was perfectly not offside.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's kind of like it feels a little weird, like
But
the way because Rudiger was not offside, right, when the ball
sure,
was played to him, but Joselu was like clearly offside. I mean, obviously he was way behind the play, but he was, but then when Rudiger crossed,
he was
like
not.
Joselu is like still off, he's not going onside and coming back in. He's just like standing there. But that's like a new phase of play or whatever. And I think he was also like kind of behind the ball or in line with the ball. It just felt a little weird. Like I think it's perfectly interpreted as part of the rules of the game, so not disputing, like, but it just kind of
Yeah,
feels a little when you see it, right, when this guy's like clearly standing, in an offside position. I just felt a little like weird sort of
yeah.
watching it, so that was
Well,
also interesting.
let's.
But the biggest mistake was Neuer, man. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
he
was
had a
three
fantastic man of the match
at
performance until that point.
that point. Yep,
And it was a hard shot, but it was a relatively, come on, straight in the breadbasket, like,
yep.
you know
Yep.
that
Just
was a big
so
mistake.
we definitely jinxed it, of course. And for our audience, what we're talking about is that whenever the games are going on, some team is playing better or not well or whatever. Nav and I are kind of messaging each other, and we say, "Oh," and exactly at that point, we said, "Oh, Neuer has a man of the match performance," and boom, right there. And that has happened many times before. So we always jinx it, and let's not do this on 1st June for the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Hope there are no silly calls then.
Yeah,
No
which
mistakes.
still should be quite a spectacle.
Yeah,
It's always
yeah.
fun.
No stupid VAR decisions or debatable kind of. It should be clean and hopefully, and
Hmm.
that'll be an awesome final to look forward.
Yeah, yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
man.
And then, yeah, I think. By the way, the FA Cup is before UCL, right?
Yeah,
Any,
for sure. I think
any,
the UCL is like the final sort of like the curtain closer.
yeah, and then starts the Euro.
Hmm.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Looking
So
forward to
lots
it.
to look forward to. A lot of predictions, a lot of some twists, I think, still to come. So looking forward to it.
Same here, 4:30 a.m. wake up call to
Set
jinx
your
Monday.
alarms.
Exactly. All
Come
right.
on, Fulham.
All right, till we see each other next and meet up for the next episode then.
Take it easy. Cheers.